Round 1. Perfect.
In the lore of Tekken, Mishima Fighting-Style Karate is an ancient art designed to exterminate demons. Mechanically, it is the most difficult and rewarding archetype in fighting game history. But if you look past the hit sparks and lightning, you'll find that Mishima style isn't just one martial art. It's a living library of real-world karate evolution. The developers at Namco didn't just invent moves, they synthesized distinct schools of Okinawan and mainland Japanese karate to match the personalities of each family member. Each major practitioner within the Mishima hierarchy functions as a stylistic vessel for specific martial arts philosophies. Real philosophies that we still practice today and have preserved for centuries. I'm actually a karate student myself. I practice Ishin Ryu, and I always find it interesting that years of well-documented and preserved pieces of ancient and deadly fighting arts would form the basis of video game characters that will make people rage quit like this online. So yeah, let's talk about the karate of the Tekkenverse, and if you want to see more like this, well, you know what to do. Jinpachi represents the oldest form of Mishima tradition, a style rooted in Okinawan martial arts, specifically the village traditions of Shurite, Nahate, and Tomarite. These systems were heavily influenced by White Crane style, which prioritized natural breathing, upright stances, and internal power, traits that would later go on to define the very core of karate. Jinpachi's closest real-world analog is Shorin Ryu. Founded by Choshin Shibana in 1929, Shorin Ryu is seen as one of the oldest styles of Okinawan karate. It uses high, narrow stances, natural breathing, and evasive footwork. It primarily borrows from its predecessors Shurite and Tomarite. We can definitely see this in Jinpachi's stances. His stances are higher and more natural compared to his ancestors, mirroring the Shurite tradition of mobility and evasion over raw damage absorption. Essentially, Jinpachi represents the era of early traditional karate. He even used to use a traditional Dan ranking system as a means of progression in the Mishima style, a system that his son would eventually abolish in favor of raw supremacy. Speaking of his son, Heihachi represents the completed Mishima style, a version characterized by brutal efficiency and extreme conditioning. And what better way to represent the brutal but efficient fighting style of Heihachi than with Goju Ryu? Goju Ryu, like Shorin Ryu, is an Okinawan style of karate. It was developed by Chojin Miyagi, a Nahate master and a student of Chinese martial arts. He combined everything he learned into a harmonious blend of linear strikes and circular defensive maneuvers, a duality that Heihachi utilizes to overwhelm opponents through sheer aggression. He also has a direct adaptation of the Yamasuke technique called the Twin Hammers, with one hand being the jab aimed at the head and the other being a reverse punch for the gut. Jinpachi represented the art of the Mishima style, while Heihachi represented domination through conditioning, pressure, and overwhelming force. Oh! With his deep stances, linear power, and long-range engagement, It is 100% clear that Kazuya's moveset is based off of Shotokan karate, a hard style of Japanese karate developed by Genshin Funakoshi in 1928. Kazuya is defined by one simple word, Iken Hisatsu. In English, this means one strike, certain death. If he has the opportunity to take you out with one punch, he will do it. A perfect example of this is his famous move called the Parasite Fist, a forward leaping strike based off of Shotokan's Oizuki, the stepping punch meant to end a fight in one blow. However, while Kazuya is first and foremost a fundamentalist, he's certainly no purist. Unlike his predecessors, he will definitely take from other karate styles as well, namely Shorin Ryu, for his various grab and counter techniques. My idea is that he might have learned that from training with his grandfather, as from what we saw, he seemed to have a more positive relationship with him than his own father, funnily enough. Oddly, some of Kazuya's techniques were also performed by Ryu Narushima, a famous Kyokushin karateka. This has added some elements of Kyokushin with specific axe kicks. However, for a more pure Kyokushin experience, we're going to have to hop over to the next generation. Jin Kazama serves as the stylistic outlier of the Mishima family. Initially, he trained in both Mishima-Style Karate and Kazama-Style Self-Defense, but after Heihachi's betrayal, Jin abandoned Mishima Fighting Karate, choosing to unlearn the style that he viewed as evil and transition to a more traditional karate style, which is explicitly based off of Kyokushin. Founded in 1964 by Masatotsu Oyama, Kyokushin is a full contact style that emphasizes physical endurance, hard sparring, or kumite, and circular striking that incorporates kicks, knees, and low strikes. It's often referred to as the complete opposite of Shotokan karate, which is fitting considering the dynamic between Kazuya and Jin. Jin's moveset often reflects this shift with grounded, realistic movement that includes techniques such as the Gedan Mawashigeri. Then there's Jin's parry system. Most parry systems usually rely on stunning the opponent. For Jin, however, he uses a technique that directly mirrors the Kyokushin's Tai Sabaki. Tai Sabaki is a fundamental movement and footwork used to evade attacks while simultaneously positioning yourself to a counterattack. It's all about moving your center line off of your opponent's line of attack through circular or diagonal motions. The motion capture for Kazuya, Ryu Narushima, also did work for Jin. I think it's one of the best displays of his expertise right here, as we see Jin performing the Yansu kata in Tekken 4. With Jin strikes having the correct weight, rotation, and snap, he easily becomes one of the most grounded Mishima family members. Now, with Reina being the newest Mishima, she is the most radical. Introduced in Tekken 8, Reina's moveset marks a significant expansion to the Mishima style. She combines traditional Mishima brutality with the highly scientific and acrobatic art of Taido. Taido translates to the way of the body. It's a more modern martial art evolved from Gensei Ryu karate, and it also incorporates spinning and twisting and changing body angles to unconventional lines of attack. In layman's terms, it's acrobatic karate. Reina is by far the hardest for me to talk about here because I'm gonna be real with you guys, I don't know nothing. Taido is a complete mystery to me. It's really not my fault because there's nowhere to learn stuff like Taido in America. If we did have a Taido school here, I would totally sign up. This looks so cool, but I'll do my best to explain what's going on with everything that I've researched. So from what I've gathered, Taido is categorized into 5 types of body movement. Sen, vertical spin. Un, rising and falling. Hen, changing axis. Nen, horizontal spinning. And finally Ten, rolling and tumbling. This is displayed beautifully in her arsenal, with moves like Sentai Stance, Onsoku, Manjigeri, and whatever the heck that move is, I don't know. Reina's inclusion in the Mishima family serves to modernize the lineage. by choosing Taito as her second style. The devs created a distinct counterpart from the grounded, heavy power of Heihachi's Goju Ryu and Kazuya's Shotokan. Now, originally I was going to talk about Lars and Lee in this video because, you know, they're kind of wild cards, but Lars practices some form of karate, but from what I'm understanding, it has no relation to the Mishima style. And Lee's adopted. But I might do separate videos on them because, you know, they're pretty cool. I really do love making videos like this, you know, talking about the fighting, the martial arts, the power scaling of all these different types of video game characters and anime characters. It's a great hobby for me and a great thing for you to watch while you eat that slop of a meal that you whipped up. Like, bro, what is that? What is that on your plate? Why are you putting that in your body? We talked about this. I'm on to you. Freak.